Islam Makhachev just dominated Jack Della Maddalena in a very one-sided, boring, easy 50-45 decision by completely wrestle-fucking him. And I'm a bit upset. Look, it was a sick card, UFC 322. It over-delivered, but the main event was just a bit of a letdown. I'm feeling a bit annoyed about that, but I'm still going to break down the card anyway. We live to fight another day. Islam is the double champ. He wins dominantly by destroying Jack Della Maddalena on the ground. Jack Della had nothing for him, didn't take advantage of his moments on the feet. Looked like he was constipated the whole fight. Awful performance from Jack. And yeah, Islam's a double champ. New welterweight champ. And he's up there in the GOAT conversation, well and truly, and I'm going to have to retract all the negative things I said about Islam this week. I'll eat the crow. I've been humbled. Islam fans, hit me with whatever you got, but you can't argue. That was a fucking boring performance and a shit fight overall, and a shit way to end an awesome generational pay-per-view. UFC 322, main event aside, was an amazing card, sick finishes all the way up and down, but a complete letdown of a main event. I knew that it was going too well. The MMA gods were smiling on us, and then they just decided to take a massive, steaming, stinky shit all over us in the main event. But yeah, good on Islam, credit to him. I spent all week coping delusionally that Islam sucked and JDM was going to piece him up. But yeah, deep down I knew I was coping, boys. That's why I made the last video. I just thought Jack would put up a bit more of a fight, to be honest, and just do a bit better on the feet. I thought he'd take his opportunities. I knew he was going to get taken down. He must have known he was going to get taken down, but he just looked frozen on the feet and just did absolutely nothing and didn't give Islam anything to think about except for the first 10 seconds. Look, there was plenty of other crazy moments to talk about on the card. I'll get into them. Valentina Shevchenko makes her claim as the best WMMA fighter of all time, dominates Zhang Weili and sends her packing back down to strawweight. Michael Morales knocks out Sean Brady in round one, looks sick, a star is born moment from that one. Carlos fucking Prates flatlines Leon Edwards in one of the most satisfying, soul-cleansing KOs of all time. And Benoit Saint-Denis sleeps Benil Dariush in 16 seconds to get the card started. So yeah, 322 was a fucking crazy card. I just wish the main event was better. Let's break down every fight. The main event, Islam versus JDM. Yeah, look, what is there to say about this one, boys? Turns out Islam's pretty good at grappling. Turns out JDM's kind of shit at grappling. This one had me shitting my pants because the main card was going so well, but normally the UFC shows the guys in the main event coming into the stadium with their headphones on in their team and shows them getting all kitted up, but they didn't show these fighters until very, very late, until like the end of round 4 in the co-main, and I was honestly worried for a second there. I thought maybe JDM missed the bus or something, or he wasn't going to turn up, because it was only very late in the piece that they actually gave us a look at these two fighters, and when they did, bro, Islam was already locked in ready, had his wraps all done, and he was shadow boxing and looking ready. And Jack Della Maddalena looked like he'd fucking missed the bus. His hair was all looking funny. He was still getting his wraps done. Yeah, he looked like he showed up late, and he looked like he had some issues on the way there. So I was already a little bit worried about that one. And it goes to show my instincts were right. JDM did not look like himself in this fight. And yeah, we got to say Islam, of course, he dominated. He deserves all the credit in the world. He is him. He's the guy. He's the new double champ. He's probably the GOAT of the sport, but he's not my fucking GOAT, and he's definitely not the entertainment GOAT, that's for sure. Just completely wrestle fucks and dominates and just positionally destroys Jack over 5 rounds, barely lands any damage. Look, the calf kicks were pretty clean from Islam, but it was very much of the ilk of a Hamzat Chimaev versus DDP type performance, and I'm just really let down and disappointed by Jack. Look, it's not his fault. He's fighting one of the best fighters of all time, but I think Jack himself will be really underwhelmed and disappointed with his performance because he didn't use his strengths and he didn't take advantage of the moments where he could have. I truly believe that Jack will look back on this fight and think, what the fuck was I doing? Because he had time on the feet. There was multiple minutes of the fight on the feet. Look, Islam ended up with almost, I think, 18 minutes of control time across 25 minutes, which is insane. But that means there's 7 minutes on the feet where they're striking. And apart from the first 10 or 15 seconds where Jack blitzed in and looked good, he did very little else. And actually it was Islam who was winning the striking exchanges and kicking the legs. And I think maybe that's part of what it was. Jack got his legs kicked to shit and he was grimacing the entire fight and looking hurt and looking like Leon Edwards looked at the end of the Kamaru Usman fight, just demoralised and dismayed and ashamed of himself. And look, credit to his corner, man. His corner got in there at the end of round 4 after Jack had just laid on his back, grimacing and looking like a 2-year-old toddler throwing a tantrum for the whole round. The corner guy gets in there and goes, "Get that fucking look off your face, Jack. Go out there and put some fucking hands on this cunt." The corner work was sick, but Jack was just like, yeah, all good, yeah, bro, I'll try. And didn't even look him in the eye. He looked like he was about to cry. I think maybe his leg was fucked or something, or he just knew that the strength of Islam was too much, because he looked like he'd quit after 2 rounds, Jack. So very disappointing from him. How the fuck did Islam ever make lightweight? I feel like I'm Joe Rogan right now. Don't get me started on fucking Joe Rogan. This cunt and him and DC pissed me off on this card the whole night. Jeez, they suck at commentating. Almost wanted to turn it off. But yeah, how did this guy ever make lightweight? Very, very sus that ever happened. The other thing is, why the fuck is the whole crowd booing JDM and cheering Islam? Like, yeah, I get it, Jack's performance was shit. Who likes this shit? Who likes this type of fighting? Why is everyone chanting Islam? Like, how cooked have you got to be to think this is good for the UFC? Why do you want this guy to be champ? Fucking baffles my mind, eh? It does my head in. Anyway, Islam, good on him. He's a double champ. He ties Anderson Silva's record for 16 straight wins. He's the man, but boring shit style. But he wins and dominates 50-45. Fuck it, who cares? Moving on. Shevchenko versus Zhang. I picked Valentina by decision. Feel like I called this fight to an absolute T. I said that Valentina's going to be too big, too strong, too skillful. Weili's going to be very explosive and dynamic and faster, but Valentina's going to be able to avoid damage, maybe have a few moments where she looks a little bit worried, but she's going to use her wrestling and physicality to get a clear 50-45 or 49-46 over Weili. Pretty sure that's how I called it, and it felt like it went how I knew it was going to go. Shevchenko just did her thing. All 5 rounds were pretty much rinse and repeat. She just stood in the middle of the octagon, really still, really calm and composed. Weili's bouncing around like a little Jack Russell, trying to get in on Valentina, but Valentina was just so much longer, so much taller, so much stronger, better range control. Yeah, it really looked like a physical mismatch out there, and I didn't expect it to be this much of a mismatch. I knew that Weili would be in the fight, but I just thought they would be a little bit similar in terms of size, but the UFC kind of catfished us a little bit with how even this fight was going to be, I reckon, because Valentina looked huge. Her back muscles were popping. And I love the way that Valentina didn't go hunting for takedowns. She just waited for a moment. She knew that Weili was desperate and needed to get on the inside, so she just wait and time her takedowns based on like a kick or a spinning shot or something. She just did it beautifully, Valentina. One of her best performances, most dominant performances of her career. She looked great on the feet. She landed some spinning shots, landed a sick knee to the body at the start of the fight that really damaged Weili, landed a spinning elbow at the end of round 2, I think it was. Yeah, she did some clean work to the body, started really finding a range with the body kicks towards the end of the fight. Got Weili into a crucifix at one point. It was just, yeah, dominant and very, very, very solid, clean work from Valentina. Sent Weili packing back down to strawweight. Got to give Weili some credit for having a chance and going at her, but yeah, this is Valentina's division, and even though she's 37 or whatever it is, I still don't know who beats her. 50-45, good shit, decision win. Hard luck to Weili. She's a legend. She'll go back down to strawweight and dominate the division again, I reckon. But yeah, this is Valentina's time. Is Valentina the greatest women's fighter of all time? Maybe. I think I'm going to call her the most skilled women's fighter of all time. I don't know about the greatest. We're going to have an argument on the channel one day about what is greatness and who's the GOAT, but I reckon Amanda Nunes has done way cooler shit and been way more entertaining, and she's beaten Valentina, but there's no denying that Valentina is probably the most dominant women's MMA fighter of all time and the most skilled. So good shit, Valentina. Got that pick. The picks were awesome on this card. I went 10-4, but I just, yeah, they feel a bit soured after the main event, but it is what it is. As if I wasn't going to fucking lean into the Aussie cooked hardcore cope fucking thing this week and pick JDM. I learned my lesson from not picking Ulberg. I've got to lean into the hometown guys. I don't care if I lose a pick. At least I can hold my head high and say, hey, I backed my boy, even if he lost. So, yeah, pick Shevchenko. I think a lot of people were picking Weili, so good pick that one. The rest of the picks are pretty good. Yeah, even though this fight was awesome, it's still typical WMMA. Even the greatest, most highly skilled WMMA fight of all time, number 1 versus number 2 pound for pound, still sucks. It was complete shitbreak material, but good job, Valentina. Brady versus Morales. I picked Morales by KO. I said it was going to happen in round 3 after Brady landed some shots and did a bit of wrestling work and dominated the first 2 rounds, but that is not how it happened at all. Sean Brady, brother, what the fuck were you doing? Bro thought he was Canelo or fucking Mayweather or something. He thought he was going to stand and bang with Morales. and it did not work for him. Bro, Morales looks so composed, so patient, so rangy and so big for that division. This guy is a fucking problem, and I think he's going to give Islam some danger. Brady just doesn't wrestle at all. What the fuck was he doing? He stays on the feet with Morales and gets completely pieced up, almost finished pretty early in the fight, and then later in the round, Morales clips him again and finishes him cleanly. Probably not as nasty as the CP performance, but still pretty nasty. And yeah, I don't know why people were thinking that Morales wasn't going to win this fight. I can't believe Brady was the favourite here. I know Brady's a tank and he's wrestling so good, but look at the state of Michael Morales, bro. This guy is huge. He's jacked as fuck. He's fast. He's dangerous. He's explosive. This guy's a problem. Future champ material for sure. Book CP versus Morales right now for the title shot against Islam. They probably won't do that because they want them both to get a shot. But yeah, I think between CP and Morales, Morales is the one to give Islam the most trouble. So I bet you the UFC will try and avoid that fucking fight because they love Islam. Anyway, sick underdog pick there. I picked Morales. Morales starches him like I said he would. Brady's a monster, but he's low IQ, one-dimensional, and fought like a complete retard in this fight. Morales just came in with a solid base and threatened the knee and uppercuts. Brady was just way too scared to shoot, and he paid the price. Filthy performance from Michael Morales. Welterweight is absolutely cooking. It's an insane division. One of the best divisions in the UFC right now. Love it. Staying at welterweight. Carlos Prates versus Leon Edwards. Carlos Prates, what a performance. Mate, this one could not have gone any better for UFC fans and for fans of fun and violence. Leon Edwards gets his fucking ass slept bad, smiles up off the ground. He's rocked and knocked out so bad that he thinks he's in fucking Peaches in Creamville, smiling up at CP from the bottom after getting slept with a straight left down the pipe, sits down Leon bad in round 2 and sleeps him. Leon looking up and smiling at Prates, not having a clue what's going on. He's in La La Land, and CP lands a big fuck you punch on the ground. That was pretty satisfying too. Super necessary. Leon gets slept for the first time ever in his career, and boy did it feel good. Prates is different on the feet, bro. I should have said KO. I thought it might have gone decision. Look, my pick wasn't too bad because Leon did wrestle fuck him in round 1 and just kill the vibe of the fight. Round 1, pretty interesting as well. Prates was fired the fuck up right at the start of the fight, and he was bouncing around like MVP. Both guys kicked the legs early. Leon actually landed the first solid shot to the head. Then Leon shoots a double leg, but Prates defended and went into the clinch. And the whole time they're in the clinch, the crowd just starts booing. Prates was whispering into Leon's ear, just standard bang, you bald bitch. Like, fuck you, stop wrestling me. And good job, Keith Peterson. He separates him, and everyone's like, fuck you, Leon, you bitch. And then Leon goes in and shoots again, gets a takedown, times it well, and gets to the back. Eventually, Prates scrambles back up. I laugh my ass off at this point because Leon's got him up against the cage, just tapping little rabbit shots. And Prates does the whole Jim from The Office face and just sit there going like, fuck you. Look, Leon clearly won round 1, but it was not with damage. It was just by control and a bit of grappling. But yeah, look, it was so sick to see Leon get slept in round 2. Carlos Prates, this Durry smoking monster, is an absolute man. Fuck, I love having him on the rise at welterweight. I hope they just ease the roll a little bit here and just don't feed him straight to Islam, because you know what's going to happen. If JDM can't stand up against Islam, Prates, that frail looking little bitch, is not going to either. But you never know, maybe Prates throws a spinning elbow or something sick. At least I reckon Prates would have a bit more of a dig against Islam than JDM did, but you never know. That threat of the takedown is just massive. So good shit, Carlos Prates. Probably the highlight of the card, seeing Leon get slept. They'll be making memes about that for ages. I probably will as well. And yeah, that was a good pick. Good shit. Headshot dead. Thank you to the UFC gods for giving us that one. The super necessary follow-up shot was fucking incredible as well. Prates is a G. DC, shut the fuck up. He starts talking about Ian Gary straight after it. Nobody gives a fuck about Ian Gary. Shut the fuck up, DC, you fat bitch. Let Prates have his moment. Beneil Dariush versus Benoit Saint-Denis. I picked BSD by finish, but I did not think it would go down this quickly. BSD fucking starches Beneil Dariush in 16 seconds, flatline KOs him, face down, ass up. The fight starts and Beneil Dariush kicks his legs out, like a really nasty leg kick, and then BSD, this all happened so fast, it's really hard to keep track of it, but basically it went, Dariush kicked his legs out and took him, he went down. BSD scrambled straight up into the clinch, lands a couple of tight little shots, then just lands a huge shot to the temple that just sleeps Dariush bad. He's flash knocked out and he's asleep before he even hits the ground, like his eyes are rolling back in his head. BSD follows up once, Herb gets in and waves it off. DC, again, the fucking stupid idiot. He's like, having a go at BSD and giving him shit for landing one ground and pound shot. Shut the fuck up, DC. Dude, Rogan and DC did my head in this card. BSD is a fucking killer. He's been training his ass off, locked in on a fight that's been going for 16 seconds. He's allowed to punch his opponent in the head if the ref hasn't waved it off. Shut the fuck up, DC. Anyway, crazy 16-second KO for BSD. He's motioning like he wants a title shot. It's only Beneil Dariush, bro. The Silver Fox. Settle down, BSD. Don't know about the title shot. And then Joe Rogan's like, do you want the title shot in 2 weeks or like a little bit later than that or like 3 weeks? Shut the fuck up, Joe, you dumb casual. He annoyed the shit out of me on this card. Shut up, you're so out of touch. BSD's not getting a title shot, but sick performance from him. Maybe he will, but probably not next. He will get his title shot eventually. He's got a bit of hype, but I don't think you can call for it in fucking 2 weeks, Joe Rogan. Shut up. Bo Nickal versus Rodolfo Vieira. Bro, this was the best performance of Bo Nickal's career. Absolute sleeper performance from Bo here. I think he's back in a big way after this one. Yeah, look, it's only Rodolfo Vieira, but man, Bo looked really, really good. Now, it's hard to say that his striking's improved a whole bunch just off piecing up Rodolfo Vieira. But Vieira's a BJJ guy, like a gi grappling kind of world champion. He's never been that good on the feet. But man, just objectively looking at the way that Bo was striking, did it not look a whole lot fucking better than the way he struck against Paul Craig? Against Paul Craig, all Bo was doing was just throwing big overhands and like random kicks every now and again. Bo actually pieced up Rodolfo Vieira in this fight. He was landing good elbows, kicks, punches, knees. Yeah, he was making Vieira look really silly on the feet. Vieira had absolutely nothing for him. He couldn't even get him down. He shot a good double leg at one point, I think in round 2, but that was about it. Bo just handled him, bro. Handled him with the wrestling. Got his own takedown, I think, at one point. Landed crispy shots, sprawled everything, busted up Vieira, had him bleeding all over his face, coasted round 1 and 2, easily won those 2 rounds. He was looking really good. And then at the start of round 3, just fucking boom, detonates a random head kick out of the blue, sleeps Rodolfo Vieira bad with a crazy head kick. Statement made from Bo Nickal, best performance of his career. Absolutely insane stuff. Yeah, it's only Vieira, but holy fuck, that was eggs from Bo Nickal, bro. It was an insane finish. Definitely his best performance ever, and punctuated with a crazy highlight reel finish. Bo Nickal is back in the mix. Gets on the mic. Frick you motherfrickers for cheering me, then booing me. Figure it out. The crowd was a little bit mixed up about Bo Nickal. They booed the shit out of him on the way out. Rightfully so, I reckon. But then they were definitely cheering. So Bo, it's a good day for him. He turns the tide a little bit on the way that people are thinking about him. Gains back a little bit of that hype he lost against RDR. Big momentum shift between those two fighters. Crazy how this sport plays out sometimes. But yeah, performance bonus definitely should go to Bo Nickal. That was sick. We'll be seeing that highlight reel KO for a long time. One of the best knockouts of the year. Good shit, Bo Nickal. I might have to start calling him Big Pickle Bo Nickal. Kopylov versus Robocop. Yeah, this was an alright fight. I coin flipped this one. I thought maybe one of these boys would go to sleep, but I was wrong. It went the distance. The coin flipped up Kopylov. As soon as I saw Kopylov, I was like, oh, damn. I wanted to pick Rodriguez, but it was a pretty coin flippy fight, and it was a decently close fight. Not bad at all. Just got overshadowed by a few other better performances on this card. Robocop won round 1 and 2. I thought Kopylov won round 3, but 2 judges gave it 30-27 Robocop. I wasn't sure about that one. I reckon that was a little bit how you going. I thought Kopylov came back and won round 3, but he didn't deserve to win the fight. It was a decent scrap. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that Kopylov's got like a broken toe or something. He wasn't kicking much at all, and I was really annoyed and like disappointed by that because Kopylov, one of the best kickers in the UFC, was not throwing kicks at all. And in fact, Rodriguez was the one throwing more kicks. He just let this fight slip away, Kopylov, kind of in the same way he did against Paulo Costa. So I don't know if Kopylov's cooked. I don't know if he needs a sports psychologist or something. He just did not throw enough. Obviously, Robocop was looking huge and jacked and a very terrifying, intimidating force in the octagon there. But yeah, I don't know. Kopylov didn't really have his best performance here, and I thought it was a fight he probably could have won. So bad luck, Kopylov. And yeah, Gregory Rodriguez looked very dangerous, looked scary. I wouldn't want to fight the cunt, but yeah, he gets it done. So the coin flip fucking shagged me 2 weeks in a row. Tracy Cortez versus Aaron Blanchfield. Yeah, interesting fight, this one. Called it pretty well as well. Round 1, I didn't really watch that much. I mean, I was watching certain elements of the fight, but not really much of the MMA, you know what I mean? But yeah, it looked like it was a pretty close round 1. Fully stand-up fight at that point. I thought maybe Blanchfield should have shot a takedown, but she kept it on the feet for round 1. It was a pretty even striking affair. Twitter was calling it for Cortez. That's not a surprise, but yeah, I don't know. It could have gone either way that first round. Then round 2 comes along. Tracy Cortez is actually the one who goes for the first takedown of the fight and just gets fucking reversed. Yeah, really smart from Cortez there. Cortez eventually gets back up. There's a bit of striking for a while. Cortez is sort of looking all right. Blanchfield's starting to land a few good shots as well. And then Blanchfield just shoots her first double leg and gets it down and threatens the head and arm for a bit. Blanchfield actually landed something decent on Cortez because she started bleeding out of the eye. Fuck, I've never seen a card with so many like little tiny nick eye cuts and eyes getting busted up. It was happened almost every fight, hey. Tracy grabs the cage to get back up. No one cares because it's Tracy Cortez and she's hot. And then Blanchfield gets a massive, like, 10-second takedown from one side of the octagon to the other, just picks her up with a double leg and just keeps running back until Cortez loses balance. Gets down to like a weird sort of half side position. I thought Blanchfield was falling off and I thought that Cortez was about to end up on top, but Blanchfield kept her arm under the chin somehow and got a submission, got like a weird side control, very strange angle rear naked choke, and Tracy Cortez panic taps in round 2. So a bit of a weird submission there. Even Erin Blanchfield said at the end of the fight, I didn't really feel like that submission was in, but yeah, Tracy Cortez, did she quit? I don't know. You tell me what you think in the comments down below, boys. Give it a like while you're down there too, fellas. So solid performance from Erin Blanchfield. She gets a round 2 submission win and she was taking over the fight. Gets her revenge for their first fight and she'll probably get a title fight next. So good shit, Erin Blanchfield. Let's talk about Malcolm Wellmaker versus Ethan Ewing. Very interesting fight, this one. Malcolm Wellmaker gets his first L. His undefeated record is gone, and Ethan Ewing backs it up after a fight last weekend, comes into the UFC on 48 hours notice, takes on one of the best up-and-coming prospects on paper that the UFC's had in a long time in Malcolm Wellmaker, and fucking beats him. So good shit, Ethan Ewing, bro. That's a life-changing performance, that one. Even took a big check right hook, like the signature Malcolm Wellmaker right hook early in the fight, but ate it, bro. That was the exact shot that knocked out Moutinho and some of Wellmaker's other opponents. But Ethan Ewing, he was in the fight, bro. Maybe that, like, you know, short notice and the fact that he'd just been in there a week ago goes to show that his conditioning was on point because yeah, he took a shot there that not a lot of other fighters would have taken. So he's obviously got a decent chin, Ewing, and he looks good, man. He did really well. Thought round 1 was really close, but Ethan Ewing did bust up Malcolm Wellmaker's left eye and had him bleeding. I think it was his left. And he looked stronger in the clinch and landed a few elbows and stuff. Even got a headlock at the end of the round and landed a couple of big knees. It was a very close round 1. I kind of gave it to Wellmaker anyway because, you know, just the optics and just that good check hook he had. But it wouldn't surprise me if Ewing got round 1 done. I think the judges ended up going 29-28 and 30-27. But yeah, it could have gone either way round 1. But the other 2 rounds were all Ethan Ewing. Ewing landed a sick head kick early in round 2. And I was just thinking, bro, Wellmaker's there to be hit. Fucking Cody Haddon would have murked this guy, bro. I knew I was onto something by picking Cody Haddon in this fight. I should have fucking stuck with, you know, not picking Wellmaker. He was due to lose. I had a bit of a feeling, but I mean, like, you know, honestly, who actually picked Ethan Ewing in this fight? You had nothing to go off. You had to go with Wellmaker. I chucked a lock on him. He fucking sells my third lock in this card. Like, I ended up getting 2 out of 3, but yeah, this was the one that I was the most confident about. But then again, knew nothing about Ewing, so not too upset about losing that one. But yeah, round 3, it was there for the taking. I thought it was 1-1 at that point, and I think the judges could have been swayed either way. But and yeah, they had it, like 2 of them had it 29-28. So 2 judges obviously gave Wellmaker round 1, but round 3, he faded, man. Like, he showed that his gas tank and his heart is not quite there because Ewing didn't really, like, starch him. He just did the same thing for another round, and Malcolm Wellmaker just looked shitter and slower as the fight went on. So good shit, Ethan Ewing. Every shot he landed was snapping Wellmaker's head back, and the optics and the reactions from Wellmaker were not that good. So as the fight went on, it just looked like it was going more and more in Ewing's direction, and he gets it done by decision. So sick performance from Ethan Ewing. I don't mind this guy. Hey, he's good on the mic. Fucking Sportsbet just loved how that fight went. Fuck, some people would have dropped their multis and parlays on that fight. I am one of them. But yeah, good shit from Ethan Ewing. Good to see what he can do in this division. Hey, I'm going to say it one more time. Cody Haddon would have fucking destroyed this guy. So it's a good look for Cody Haddon. I wish he had stayed in the fight. But yeah, Wellmaker, one of the 4 fights I got wrong in this card. Not too upset with the fights I got wrong because one of them was the main event, and yeah, I was kind of coping about that. One of them was the coin flip. One of them was this one, and that was a huge upset. And the other one was Sabatini versus Mariscal, and I was not very confident about that fight. So the picks are pretty good this week, boys. You got to accept that. Daukaus versus Meerschaert. Another lock. I had Daukaus by KO. Nothing much to talk about here, boys. This was a bit sad, this one. I said this week in my tier list that Meerschaert's one of those fighters who's just paid to lose. The UFC puts him in there to get highlight reels for these guys. Don't know why they're trying to build Kyle Daukaus so hard, but hey, it works. Anyone you give Meerschaert to, they're going to end up on a fucking highlight reel somewhere. Easy 1 minute club and sub by Kyle Daukaus. He lands a straight shot on Meerschaert's chin, wobbles him bad, follows up and GM3 goes down. Daukaus just latches up a quick Darce choke while they're dry and GM3 taps like a little bitch, easy as. Easy dub for Daukaus, easy lock. That one was free money. Kyle Daukaus versus Hums up next. Let's see it. Yeah, I just mentioned this one. Pat Sabatini versus Chepe Mariscal. I picked Mariscal by decision. I wasn't confident about that one, and I was starting to feel a little bit yucky about that pick as the week went on. Sabatini's an elite grappler, and even though Mariscal did more damage in this fight and had better individual moments, the moments that he had were in rounds that he clearly lost, so I don't think he did enough to really win those rounds. He landed a crazy head kick at the end of round one. At the end of round one, there was like 3 seconds left, and Pat Sabatini tries to back out and just coast the end of round one that he kind of won. And Chepe's like, fuck that cunt, this fight's still on. Misses a head kick, and then Pat extra lets his guard down. And then as Pat's about to high five him, he just head kicks him again and splits him right in the middle of the forehead. But it was totally clean, completely before the bell. But yeah, I was thinking, Sabatini, get your hands up, brother. Defend yourself at all times. Still probably goes 10-9 to Sabatini that first round. But Chepe, there's an argument that he could have stolen it. He busted him up at the end of the round, and it wasn't that dominant from Sabatini. The judges would have been just about to write their scorecards down, so that maybe could have influenced it, but I don't think it did in the end because all three gave it to Sabatini 30-27. Round 2 starts, and yeah, Chepe splits his eye again right at the start. So I was thinking, really good end to round 1 and really good start to round 2 for Mariscal. But outside of that, it was just a completely dominant, smothering wrestling effort from Pat Sabatini. Round 2 was a bit more close. It was pretty technical and there was a very, very high pace. But it was Sabatini's grappling that was, the most impressive. He just kept working to dominant position. Actually a pretty sick fight for rounds 1 and 2. A lot of action and a very high pace. Sabatini's eye was completely fucked up at the end of round 2. He couldn't see. I think Chepe even dug into his eyes with his finger at one point. It was pretty filth. It made me shiver watching it because Sabatini's eye was already completely busted up and closed. And Chepe had his fingers kind of raking at the eye, and Pat took objection to it. They were arguing about it, and they had a bit of beef at the end of round 2. Dude, Sabatini's eye was fucked up, and they zoomed right in on them, on the doctor, opening it up and trying to wipe it out and shit. It was busted above and below the eye, and it was completely swollen shut. But they didn't even get the fucking doctor in to have a look at it at all. Fucking savages, I like that. Then round 3, Sabatini just spends most of the round on the back of Mariscal. Mariscal gets taken down way too easy, and Sabatini was way too clean on the ground. So he just out-grapples and controls Chepe for all of round 3 and secures the win. Way more damage done by Mariscal in that fight, but he can't give him that fight. All 3 judges scored at 30-27. I feel like at least round 1 could have gone to Chepe maybe, but nah, it was a clear Sabatini, positional and dominant win, so good stuff, Sabatini. That was the first fight I got wrong. Angela Hill versus Fatima Kline. Look, I originally picked Angela Hill, but I changed my pick late in the week. Go and check my Instagram just to confirm that, at PunchOn's MMA. I hadn't done my research early in the week on Kline. Oh, fuck, sorry. What was I going to do? Fucking go and watch tape on Fatima Kline and Angela Hill fights. I did end up changing to Fatima Kline. Very dominant win from Fatima Kline. Not too much to talk about here. Pretty, good fight to have a shit break on. There was a couple of good moments in the striking for Fatima Kline. She did bust up Angela Hill's nose, landed some great work to the body. There was a lot of head clashes in this fight, like the southpaw versus southpaw. They just kept coming in and clashing heads. Fatima Kline finished the fight really strongly. She took Angela Hill down and went nuts at the end, trying to finish her with these little rubber ducky punches, boogie, boogie, boogie. Great work though. She emptied the gas tank right at the end of the fight. I like the hustle there, put a statement on it. It wasn't a close fight. And then Kline landed a sick spinning back fist and a mad head kick with 10 seconds to go in the fight. Put a stamp on it. So yeah, sick performance from Fatima Kline. I'm pretty glad I switched there. 30-27 decision win. Baisengar Susurkaev versus Eric Makhachev. Dude, this was a sick fight. This got the card going really nicely, hey. Makhachev put up a really good fight, man. Even though Susurkaev looked really relaxed and dismissive, man, yeah, he made this fight pretty close, hey. He ended up losing round 1, I thought. Makhachev he came barging straight in like he was Alex Pereira, closed the distance and started throwing. Susurkaev looked like he was a little bit asleep at the start of that fight. He did well to stay safe though, but Makhachev did tag him a few good times in round 1 and it kind of woke him up because eventually he sort of settled down and then went to the wrestling. Bisanger slammed him down a couple of times and started doing like the Hamzat style. It was a pretty good round one for Eric Makhachev. I actually scored that round for him. Round two, Makhachev tagged him early and there was a bit of damage starting to build on Bisanger's face, but he just started to loosen up as he went, you know. He started landing front kicks and like long shots. He had a clear range advantage. Lands a big straight right and a flying knee at one point. He started backing up Makhachev, but then Makhachev just fucks him up with a dick kick. Hey, like, this is a great strategy for fighting. Hey, if you're getting pieced up and if you're getting pressured and you're worried and you need a rest, just fucking kick him in the dick. Like, it works every time. You get a free 5-minute rest and you don't lose a point. Bisanger got dropped straight with a fucking mad shot straight to the Bisanger Susurkaevs. Just as he was starting to piece him up. It should have been a point deduction, I reckon. It really changed the momentum of the fight. So, yeah, good job, Makhachev. That was a smart fight IQ moment. As the fight went on, I started getting mad Yuri versus Khalil vibes from this fight, eh? Like, not just because Makhachev looks exactly like Khalil, but it was really like, you know, Makhachev looking a bit cleaner and a bit more active and shooting his shot early in the fight, but you could just tell in the back of your mind, like, this guy's just biding his time and he's going to take over as the fight goes on. And I could really feel that similar vibe as I had in Yuri versus Khalil. And this is what happened. Hey, I wrote down in my notes, I feel like someone's getting finished late here, and I think it's going to be Makhachev. I scored it 1-1 after 2. As round 3 started, Bisanger started getting on top. He starts backing him up, lands an uppercut to the dick of his own. There was another timeout. Bisanger sat down against the cage and had a rest, though. That was a little bit bad kind of signs there, but I guess he's just been smart and conserving energy. Then, little bit into round 3, Bisanger, this motherfucker lands an enormous straight right, straight down the pipe, has Makhachev doing the fried chicken dance, and he just goes face down on the canvas. Pretty respectful from Bisanger. He knew he was done. He saw him get slapped, and he didn't land any super necessary follow-up shots. So, yeah, it was a nasty KO for Bisanger Susurkaev. Good performance, too. He got tested. We got to see a bit of what he's all about. A little bit of a level check, but a good gritty performance from Bisanger. He called out Bo Nickal. Fuck, I don't know if he'll be so keen on that anymore, but I'd like to see that fight. And then he even called out Hamza. That was pretty funny. I'd like to see that one as well. So yeah, it took a bit longer than we expected, but Bisanger Susurkaev remains undefeated, gets it done with a nasty KO finish like we expected, and a lot of Yuri versus Khalil about that fight, which is a good compliment. To open the card, we had Mateus Camilo versus Slava Claus. Camilo gets a unanimous decision win. Fuck, one judge gives it 30-27 to Camilo. How the fuck do you give Mateus Camilo round 3? Slava Claus was taken over the fight, started to piece him up, landing way better shots. Camilo did barely anything in round 3. He won the last probably 20 seconds, but geez, these fucking judges must be like TikTok kids because very short attention span. Slava Claus clearly won round 3, I thought. I did feel, though, that Camilo was up 2-0, but I wasn't confident. Camilo's shit, bro. I had him by submission, and look, there was a couple of moments where he should have submitted Slava Claus, but if you're getting Slava Claus down into, who can't wrestle, mind you, he sucks on the ground, he's been submitted plenty of times, if you're getting him down to those dominant positions that you did and you can't submit him, I don't think you're going far in this sport. So I do think the right guy got the nod, but 30-27 is complete bullshit. That's a pre-written scorecard, that one. Anyway, the picks were good, boys. 10-4. Overall, the card was fucking sick. It was generational. If the MMA gods just had a smile on us for the main event, dude, it would have been probably my favourite card of all time. But look, you got to put that to the side. And look, I'll look back on this card one day and say, hey, that was pretty amazing. And Islam, this was the day that Islam got his double champ status and became the GOAT. I'm not that excited about the fact that Islam's a welterweight champ. I guess it means at least he fucks off from lightweight and he's not going to go back down. But yeah, I'll eat my crow. I'll cop it on the chin. Come on, Daggy fans, get in, give me a bit of shit, fire me up, do your best, roast the fuck out of me, give me a bit of free engagement. I deserve it. I put my heart and soul into JDM winning this fight, but I knew after round 1 that it was fucking delusional. So, but hey, whatever, it's all good, bro. I'm still standing. I'll survive. The channel's still here. We're not deleting it. JDM will be back. Maybe he gets the other one out of Morales or Prates, whoever doesn't get the title fight. That'd be a sick fight. At least these boys are going to stand and bang and have a bit of a crack and not just fucking lay on the ground and lay and pray like Islam did for 25 minutes. It was a fucking awesome card. I just wish we got the main event, that we deserved. It was really boring. I wanted at least to have a good fight. It was not a good fight. It was not competitive. It was dominant for Islam, so you got to give him that. So, yeah, look, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for the card. It was fucking awesome, but just that last little bit just brought the vibes down a bit. But hey, it is what it is. If you're an Islam fan, you probably fucking love that card, and it was a great card. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed UFC 322. Make sure you jump on and have a look at some other content here on Punch-Ons. We're just getting started, boys. We're here to stay. We've got a sick card coming up next weekend. UFC Qatar, Hooker versus Saryukian. I'll have some content ready for that one as soon as I fucking recover from this shit. And yeah, like and subscribe. See you on the next one. Punch on.